All right. All right. So again, for this class, we don't need any props. We may, if you do have two blocks, there will be a couple places where we could use them, but not necessary. So go ahead and take a comfortable seat. Allow yourself to settle in. Maybe close the eyes or a gentle gaze, whatever feels the most comfortable to you. And come to the breath. Feeling the belly expand, but keeping a sense of longness in the spine. So each time you inhale, you lengthen, but keep that length as you exhale. And if you feel like transitioning to your back, that's also a perfectly acceptable place to begin this class. So I've been doing some study on Indian mythology and philosophy, and it's fascinating. And there's this fact that Indian folklore was not written down until just recently. And that's wrapped around the idea that sacredness is fluidity. So to write something down is to lock it in stone, to stop its fluidness. And so stories were passed mouth to mouth, passed down through generation, through storytelling. Now, this is not the only way to look at sacredness, right? Chinese culture, from the beginning of their existence, you find written things on tortoise shells. So this is not saying this is the way to think about it, but I think it's really fascinating. And right now, there seems to be a big pull around us between consistency and truth. So consistency is, think about it like the way we've done it, right? It's this false sense of security because we've done things a certain way. We've had routines. They've worked for us. So why change them, right? Because they have worked. But truth is a lot harder because it's asking you to constantly do the work, to constantly ask yourself, is what I'm doing feeding my truth? Is what I'm doing in line with my values and my morals? So a lot of times we can get stuck in this false sense of security, inconsistency, because it's easier. I've done it. I'm sure you can think of a place in your life where you've done it. It's just easier. But working within our truths is actually a lot more freeing because this is like what it all boils down to, is that working within your truth means it's okay to change your mind. And that's what's so cool, right? Consistency, we do it this way, we said this, we're gonna do this. But then if you're in your truth, life is just a little bit more malleable because things do change. And that's recognizing. So sitting with that, allow the area around your front chest to expand as you're almost as if your collarbones widen. The top of your shoulders pull back. And then place both hands on your front chest on either side and suction down and pull down. And this is going to feel like a nice stretch here. And then replace your hands down towards your legs and just begin a few rolls of the neck in one direction or the other. Stopping anywhere that feels a little more tight. And then make your way to child's pose at the front of the mat. Knees wide, big toes touching, forehead down. Lengthen the side body. And then from here, bend at the elbows, bring the hands to prayer overhead. And then walk the elbows forward any amount. Inhale, lengthen through the top of the head. And then exhale, lower down, feeling the side body stretch. So you're getting a nice stretch in that lat line, the outside of your armpits. And you can even bring your hands to your shoulder blades on your back, your upper back. Good. And then place the hands down, come up to all fours. Then begin to go through a few rounds of cat-cow. Adding anything else that might feel nice. So really exploring that idea physically of it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to explore what fits your truth. And right now in cat-cow, that truth being where you want to open up the body before we begin to flow. Come to stillness. And then pressing into the tops of your feet, lift your knees. Just barely off the floor. Press into all pads of the fingers. Press into all tops of the 5 toes. Feel the belly towards the spine. And if you extend your toes long, you're going to get a greater stretch in the ankles. And then come down, child's pose with knees together. Inhale, come up to all fours, press into the tops of the feet, lift the knees. So if this is not feeling like much of a stretch in the ankles, you can bring the feet back just a little bit. You can bring the feet forward, kind of feeling where that is the most stretch of the ankles and also a nice core work. Bring the knees down, heels to hips, child's pose for just a moment. And then come up, walk the hands slightly forward, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And that's going to feel really good after lifting up those knees to open the back of the legs. Spread the fingers wide. Feel the heart shift down and forward, softening the heart through the shoulder blades. And then inhale, come forward to top of a push-up. Now come onto the top of the left foot and the top of the right foot. So we're on top of a push-up with our feet. And then come into kind of a up dog with the feet straight. And then extend through the toes. Sink the heart forward. Shoulder blades come together. And then maybe the sides of the neck go back as you look up. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Bend into one knee, the opposite. And then walk the hands back to meet the feet. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up. And you can take a wide width of the feet here to create space. You need a little more space. And then shake the head yes. Shake the head no. Changing our truths. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale. Inhale, root to rise, arms reach up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, bring the hands to your heart. Inhale, sweep the arms forward. Exhale, bend knees and fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, arms reach up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands touch. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up, maybe small back bend. Exhale, bend knees and fold. And then walk back to downward facing dog. Spread the fingers wide. Heart melts. Hips rise. Inhale, come forward to top of a push-up. And then again, come onto the tops of the feet. Now, if this feels accessible, you can skip this and just do a normal top of a push-up. And then lower down, you can lower down onto the knees or keep the knees lifted for up dog or cobra. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up and back. Bend the knees, stack the hips. Pause here and circle the knee in one direction. And then switch. Then bring that right leg to down, three-leg dog, and exhale, bring it through in between your hands, lower down onto the left knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, root down through the pelvis as the arms extend long. Interlace the fingers behind the back of the head. Push head into hand, hand into head as you extend the elbows long. Fill the waistline, the entire 360 degrees around your belly. Back, sides of the neck back. Maybe look up. Exhale, frame the foot. Straighten the right leg. Ardha Hanumanasana, half Hanuman pose. You can walk that back knee back any amount. Tenting the fingers. And then come back into a low lunge. Sweep the arms up on an inhale. Exhale, frame the foot. Tuck the left toes, straight left leg, thigh towards the sky. Look forward. Melt the heart in between the shoulder blades. Plant the hands downward facing. Left leg up and back. Bend the knees, stack the hips. Circle the knee in one direction. And then switch directions. Three-legged dog. And then bring that leg forward, lower down onto the right knee, sweep the arms up. Setting up the foundation of the legs, root down through the left heel. Pull the left knee and the right knee towards the midline. So you're energetically, you're not actually moving them inward. Inhale. And then exhale, interlace the fingers behind the head, same thing. You can lean a little deeper into this lunge to get into that right hip flexor. Exhale, frame the foot. And then straighten the right leg. Thigh to the sky, look forward. Taking the time to find your alignment. Taking the time to find your truth. Lower down the right knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, plant the hands. Downward facing dog. Come down into child's pose with your knees together. If you have blocks, bring them in front of you. If not, no worries. If you do have blocks, bring your elbows to the tip of the blocks. Bring the hands overhead just as you did before. This little bit of elevation allows the head to sink down to get a greater stretch in that lat line. So we're opening up the side body around the heart. And then come on out of this, move the blocks out of the way, return to downward facing dog. On an inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, jump or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, lower. Root to rise, arms reach up, palms touch. Exhale, hands come to earth. Sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, jump or step back to top of a push-up. Lower all the way down to your belly. Come onto your forehead to the mat. Bring the inner edges of the feet together and then wiggle the feet away from the body. So just inch them away. This is going to create a little bit more length. And then bring the inner edges of the feet and the legs together and lift up. So the toes engage away from the body. You're lifting up. The feet up off the earth. Lower down. Press into the tops of the feet. Inhale, curl forward for cobra. So starting with the feet gets a little bit more space in our lower back. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. And of course, if you are not coming onto your belly because of any reason, such as a pregnancy, you can always skip coming all the way down and go through cat-cow. On an inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, jump or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, lower. Root to rise as the arms reach up, the palms touch. Exhale, hands to earth. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, halfway up. And then step or jump back to top of a push-up. Come onto the top of the feet, and especially if you're not coming onto your belly, just come into up dog if it feels comfortable. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Hang out here for a moment. So if you are pregnant or in pregnancy, and you know you are, Emily, it's always best to do what your doctor says. But the common thing to skip out on in yoga is twists. Everything else is up to your body. So lying on your back, lying on the belly is a comfort thing, from what I'm told. But twists are just the big thing to stay away from. Although, that being said, everybody has their own thing. So it's what works with you and your body and what your doctor is recommending. And breathing here. And on an inhale, send the left leg up and down. Exhale, bring it through in between the hands, parallel the feet, Uttanasana, wide-legged forward, or not Uttanasana, Prasarita Pada Tadasana, which is wide-legged forward fold. And into one knee, then the other, going side to side. Make sure the feet are as parallel as possible. Engaging in the outer edges of the feet. Inhale, come half. And exhale, lower down. And then turn the right foot out to the right. Bend the right knee. But still stay in this forward fold-ish. Root down through the left hand. Bring the right hand to the right knee. And gently, gently, gently press that knee to the side, accentuating the stretch in the right hip. So this is definitely a follow your truth kind of situation. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on that knee, but feel where you start to really get a nice juicy stretch here. Then bring the right hand to the inside of the right foot, left hand to the left hip, and open your heart up. You can bring your left hand up towards the sky. You can bring it up over the left ear for side angle. Tricky way to get into that. Good. And then walk your hands back through center, parallel both feet. Bend into one knee and the other, noticing any opening. Second side, left foot comes out. Root down through the right hand, left knee to left, or left hand to left knee. Push out. At the same time, send the right thigh back. Left hand to the inside of the left leg. Parsva Konasana. Arms straight up or overhead. And then calming back through center. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands to your hips. Bring the elbows towards one another. Come to standing. Bring the feet, heel toe the feet in. And then quick shoulder opener. Bring the right hand, keeping the wrist straight. Bring the right hand to the small of the back. Now, you want to bring the right head of the shoulder back and the right elbow forward. It's a really subtle feeling. And I have my right shoulder really comes forward a lot, so the visual is not a lot. It doesn't look like my right shoulder is pushing back, but oh man. You can also, if you can reach, bring the left hand to the right shoulder elbow and pull it forward. That doesn't really feel good to me though. Good, and then release. Second side, keeping the left wrist straight, bring it to the small of your back, same thing. Top of the left shoulder back, elbow forward, really subtle stretch here, but quite opening. Quite informative too. This tells you a lot of information. You're like, oh, I didn't realize I was so tight there. Release the hand, shake it out, walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step back to top of a push-up. Come to the tops of the feet into up dog. And then tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Okay, now a little challenge. Send the right foot up and back. Root down through the right hand, tense the left fingers. Maybe lift the left hand. Woo! Super challenge. And just play here. Maybe lift the left hand any amount. Lower down the limbs, pedal out the feet. Second side, lift the left leg up and back. Root down through the left hand, temp the right fingers. stay here or play with lifting the right hand. Lower down the hands, downward facing dog. On an inhale, send the right leg up and back. Exhale, bring it through in between the hands, come up into warrior two. Tuck the right hip under, left thigh back. Peaceful with a bind, bring the left hand to the right hip, straighten the right leg. Warrior two. Side angle. Come back to warrior two and pivot into warrior one. So the left foot comes now to a 90-degree angle. Straighten the right leg, cut the right hip back, left hip forward, rebend into that right knee. Interlace the fingers behind the back, heart opens up. And then release the hands, left arm to a 90-degree angle, right arm under and around, Garudasana arms. Rebend into that right knee. Now we're going to see if we can bring the left foot forward and around, coming into Garudasana legs, eagle pose here. If that's not working out for you, you can always just bring the feet together. Or come up onto the ball of the left foot, press into the right foot, and then come to standing and wrap the left leg around. You can always just do a little twist, so bringing the foot to the outside of the right foot, or wrap it all the way around. Good. Now from here, release the arms, release the knee, keep everything bent, bend it into that right knee. So you're like this kind of, I'm gonna scoot back some space, this kind of like weird scarecrow. Keeping everything bent, come towards warrior three as you straighten the limbs. Arms can go behind you, out to the side, to your hips. Parallel the hips. Good, and then bring the feet together. Kick it out, front of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, root down the palms, top of a push-up. Come onto the top of the feet, up dog. Pull the heart through, downward facing dog. Left leg comes up and back. Then exhale, bring it through, warrior two. Tuck the left hip under. Peaceful warrior. With the bind of the right hand, bring the right hand around to the left hip as you straighten the left leg. Lower that right shoulder. Warrior two. Warrior one. Take the time to set up the alignment. And once you have it, interlace the fingers, heart up. Release the hands. Right arm to a 90, wrap the left. Shoulders out, fingertips up. Good. Now we're gonna come into Garudasana on this side. So pivot onto the ball of the right foot. And the same way you came last time, wrap it around. Stay with the breath. All right, and then warrior three. Release the limbs, bend all legs and all arms. And then come into your warrior three as you slowly start to extend the limbs. Good, come on down. Stepping, or bring the foot forward, that's what we did. Bring the foot forward, shake it out. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to heart, pause here. Finding a solid stance, going from the feet to the top of the head, finding what fits best with you. What alignments allow you to stand the tallest, to stack the bones in the most complete way. Creating space for the breath, for the lungs. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step back to top of a push-up. Top of the feet, up dog. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Right leg up and back. Bring it through. Warrior two. Straighten the right leg, reach forward. Trikonasana. Either coming up back into warrior two to come into side angle, or just bend that right knee, bring the forearm to the thigh. Left thigh back. And then re-straighten that right leg, triangle, but this time bring the left arm parallel with the floor and extend the fingertips behind you. This can be a nice stretch of the shoulder and the neck. Bend into the right knee, warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down. Downward facing dog, left leg up and back. Bring it through. Warrior two. Straighten the left leg, reach forward. Triangle. Find your side angle either through warrior two or coming back or coming straight into Parsvakonasana. And then re-straighten that left leg. Bring the right arm parallel to the earth. Nice little neck stretch. Cartwheel the hands down. Top of a push-up. Flatten the feet. Up dog. And tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Left leg up and back. Exhale, bring it through, parallel the feet, Parsvakonasana once again. Let the head hang. Nice little inversion here. And then inhale halfway up. Heel toe the feet together towards Malasana, our yogi squat. palms together. This is such an interesting pose because of its origin with mankind, really, because this is the original way that we gave birth. This is a way that babies begin to orientate with their balance. They'll come up on their feet and then play with things like this. And then also like hunter-gatherer kind of vibe going on here of squatting down and really getting into opening the hips and the pelvis. So it's a really beautiful pose to be in. All right. Come back up into a forward fold. Heel to the feet out wide. Pasarita Pada Tadasana. One more little challenge. Walk your hands back to the left foot. Step it back, down dog. We're going to do the opposite limb lift again, but this time I'm going to give you a little secret hint. So root down through the left foot, lift the right. Root down through the left hand. Tense the right fingers, and then bring the left heel slightly in. This is going to give you a little bit more stability to lift up that right hand. Oops, left hand. Just doing the opposite hand, sorry. Whoa. Bring it down and switch sides. Oh, did I do that the first time? Either way, bring the heel in slightly. No, I didn't. Root down through the right hand, lift the left leg, right heel in slightly, lift opposite hand. Lower down. Inhale, come forward to top of a push-up, top of the feet. Downward facing dog. Good. Come down onto the shins. Bring the knees to the earth. Prayer the hands. If you have a yoga block, bring your elbows to the block. And then come on up. Send the legs wide, as is comfortable. Tuck the fingers on either side of your hips and lift up. And then kind of wiggle back and forth to really set that pelvis down. And then we're going to come forward any amount. If you have blocks, you can always stack the blocks for your forehead. And just fold. Come on up. Bring the inside of the feet together. Same thing. Tent the fingers, lift up the hips, wiggle back and forth, find where you're comfortable, and then set the hips down. Butterfly pose. It might feel good to stay sitting upright or to come all the way down. Wherever you are. Good. Now come onto your back. And we're going to do a round of bridge pose that is meant to massage the muscles in your upper back. It's really lovely. The difference is that instead of pressing into the back of our head and our shoulders, we press into our spine, which then allows us to rotate left and right to really like get a good little massage going. So the feet are the same in normal bridge, and then lift up the shoulders. So the shoulders are coming completely off of the mat. Then come back down with the focus being on the spine. So the shoulders are still lifted. With that sense of height in the shoulders, bring the arms down by your side and then come up lifting the hips. The weight's still in the center of your body. Don't press down through the head. And then you can start to roll left to right, and you'll find that you might get some of those good spots. By spreading the shoulders apart. I've done this like 5 times today. It's such a good way to, if you're by yourself, or if you just need a little back rub. Good, and then lower down. Sway the knees side to side. And each time the top leg reaches a little bit further away from the body. So as you come down to the right, the left leg reaches away. As you come down to the left, the right leg reaches away. Good. And then legit round of bridge pose. Lift the hips up. Press into the back of the head, the shoulders tuck. And lower down. Sway the knees once again. Then bring the knees through center, lift up the right leg, interlace the fingers, if you can, or a strap, and begin a few ankle rotations in one direction. And then the opposite direction. Figure 4, ankle to the thigh. Stay here or interlace the fingers behind the back, the left thigh. Now, if that's hard to do because there is a belly in the way, another way to get deep into this is to come up onto your seat and place the hands behind you. And this is actually harder. Then you're going to bring the left ankle to the thigh. You're going to do figure 4 like this. And that might get a little bit more space, give you a little bit more space. Then you can walk the hands forward, bringing your spine more and more upright, getting more and more into the hips. So just whatever works for you. And lower down the right leg, switch sides. Release that ankle. If you're up, come back onto your back. Bring the knees into the chest. Sway side to side. Stay here. Come into a happy baby. Maybe straightening one leg or the other. If you straighten the feet, you can drive the pubic bone down towards the earth and then the toes to the ground on either side of your ear. That feel really good for the hamstring. Come on out of this. Sway side to side. And then we'll come into a Shavasana. And if you have any bolsters or cushions, this is really nice for pregnant ladies to be elevated a little bit if it doesn't feel comfortable. So if you do have blocks or a bolster to come up, elevate the bolsters like so. And then coming onto it like this, or even on the side. So however you are feeling, maybe just being on your back is great too. We'll come into a Shavasana. And I'll hold us here for the entire time. So no need to watch the clock. Take your time. This will be a nice, good, long one. Bring your arms out long, away from the side body so that the ribs have room to expand. So when you breathe in, no part of your side body is touching the arms. And allow the shoulders to sink into the earth, the back of the head heavy. Anywhere that the body really contacts the earth, let it sink in. Slowly begin to bring movement back into the fingers and the toes. Allow the head to sway side to side. A gentle reawakening. Roll over onto one side. Resting here for a moment in fetal position. Allowing the work that we've done today to sink into the body. Knowing that to find your truth, there is work involved. But with that truth comes freedom to be who you are freely and fully. Not only that, but extends beyond just us as individuals expressing ourselves to our truest form. Doing this also sets examples, can be inspiring or influential to those around us. So what we do on the mat extends much further than we think. Come up to seated. Bring your hands to your heart or anywhere that is meaningful to you. I'd like to thank the ancient cultures and traditions that have brought this practice here to us today. We'll end this class with 2 rounds of Om. Life saying yes to itself. Inhale for a clearing breath. And exhale. Inhale for Om. 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 Gently flutter your eyes open. Thank you so much for sharing this class with me. I hope you have a beautiful evening.